Chapter 10. James. Sitting here listening to everyone talk, my phone goes off, so I open it and see it's a text from Roxy.
I never got my anything for singing with you.
Fuck, what is it she was wanting then? So, what was your anything then? I text back and look up at her as she starts turning red, and I think it is so cute. Hell, I wish she would just tell me what she wants. She texts back, and I send, "No, I don't know, baby. What do you want?" As I look at Roxy, I notice Brittany is watching us. At least she doesn't know what we are saying.
You?
Is all Roxy texts. Baby, you have had that from day one. I'm so lost in my texting with Roxy, I don't even notice I'm being talked to until my dad pushes my arm. Huh? Yeah, I say, looking around, making everyone laugh. I asked if you had fun playing on stage. Yeah, it was great. I'm tired. I'm going to bed, I say, and walk to the bunk. When I lay down, I text Roxanne. If we were alone, what would you do? And I wait for her answer. I'm not too sure what I even want it to be.
Anything I want to do?
She asks. Yes, anything, I reply. Then she blows my mind when she says,
I would want to touch you like I was in my dream.
I have a big smile on my face as I reply, "Oh, and how was that?"
What, you don't remember?
No fucking way I could forget, but can you tell me? I think she isn't going to after a very long pause, till she sends,
I would love to be able to do what I wanted with my boyfriend and not get interrupted all the damn time. I have to go. My dad won't leave me alone.
I read her text 1,000,000 times. She called me her boyfriend. I'm over the moon. Then I text, love you, night, sweet dreams to my amazing girlfriend. Wish I was cuddled up to you.
Roxanne, laying on this couch sucks so much. With us having Patrick and Max on the bus with us, this trip, I can't just go lay in the empty bunk. Usually I would just go lay in whose ever bunk of the one in the bed. I guess that is why James hates the couch, because he won't lay in the other bunks. Not even his dad's. I'm not sure why, but that is just James. But with this trip, Patrick is laying in Ryder's bunk and Max is on the other couch. I want to just go lay with James, but I don't know. I hear the door open, so I close my eyes. Then I hear my mom whisper,
Is she asleep?
I think so. Why?
We need to talk.
I hear my dad.
Okay, about what?
James and Roxanne. Don't do that, baby. It's not bad, I promise.
Okay, what is it?
I had a talk with Roxanne yesterday, and you know how you were worried about him pushing?
Yes, I know how his dad was at that age.
The one Lisa was no angel, baby. And for two, James may have the same facial features as his dad, but that is it. Fuck, is that boy ripped.
Don't drool over a kid now.
Fuck you, Jacob. I wasn't. Anyhow, other than facial features, James is nothing like his dad. That boy's mother was raising him right.
What does that mean?
My dad asked.
You know, James won't make a move unless she does first, or she flat out asks him.
You can't tell me that boy doesn't think about it.
He does for sure. Hell, he is 14, and our daughter happens to be the girl that is everything to him, but he never acts on any of his fantasies or thoughts unless she acts first.
I can't help but smile. I wonder if what she means is James thinks the same stuff I do, but doesn't want to do anything because he doesn't know I want the same thing. Fuck, I do, but I'm scared. Not of James, but of messing up, or not being enough for him. Yes, I can talk to my mom about anything, but about this, not a chance. Or at least, I never tried, and I don't know what she would do.
What should we do?
My dad asked, pulling me from my thoughts and back to listening.
I don't know, baby. It's kind of hard to tell. I know we were 1,000,000 times worse at their age, but at the same time, I don't want to think of that with my kid.
Mom says.
If I would have known then that I would be in this place now, I would have done things differently, but kids was the last thing on my mind.
I know what you mean, Jacob.
I don't know what to do or say, honestly, baby. I know I couldn't ask for a better man for my daughter, but at the same time, she is my little girl and only 14.
Okay, the little girl I get, but in this life, how much does our age play a role in things?
Mom asks, and I want to laugh, but I don't want them to know I'm not really asleep. She is right, though. I know we have a much different life than most kids our age, and I can't help but wonder if that is why James likes me, because I'm in the same crazy circle as him, or if he really does love me.
Does she know that we are aware that she sneaks into bed with him?
My dad asks, and my heart drops.
No, she doesn't, and she doesn't know the real reason that James insists on the bunk either.
That blew my mind when Michael told me that.
Right?
Mom says.
Do you think James ever told her?
No, not with the way they fight over the bunk.
Why won't he just tell her?
Dad asks, and I have the same question.
Why won't he tell her what his mom said on that ring or flat out ask her out?
And that makes me think, hearing my mom say that. What did Lisa say in her letter to him?
Honestly, I thought he did, like 4 years ago, when he asked if he could. Yes, I said no and told him they were too young, but I figured he would anyhow.
Wait, what? James asked my dad if he could ask me out?
You know, Lisa said he cried for like a week because of that and said he started to keep pictures of her in his case and that he has a picture of her in his wallet too.
What? Really?
He really does have pictures of her in his case. I have seen them. I thought she was exaggerating about it till I seen them myself.
Now that I think about it, that is right around the time he started to work out too.
I'm still blown away by what he said the other day.
You and me both, baby. I hope those two will get along on this trip since Patrick is with us.
Why is Patrick with us?
Mom asked.
2 reasons. They think the next concert is going to be crazy because it was changed to have James on stage before us and play a few songs. Fuck, that kid had fans long before this. But anyhow, they hired more security for that, and the other reason is because that bus needs cleaned, I guess.
They are grown-ass men. Why can't they clean it? And will Roxanne be going with James?
James wants her to, but I don't know.
My dad says, and he sounds sad. At some point, I must have passed out because I wake up to the smell of coffee. When I get up, I see Max making coffee.
Morning.
He says, and all I can think is, coffee. He laughs and asks,
How do you like your coffee?
I like coffee, not all that whatever the hell people call that stuff.
My kind of girl.
He laughs and hands me a cup. The morning goes by quick, with little talking and watching TV. Around noon, I start to make coffee, and Patrick looks at me.
How much coffee do you drink, kid?
I don't answer him. I don't get a chance before I hear Ryder.
That's not for her. Then who is it for? Just watch, less questions.
Ryder asks, while never stopping his game. After the coffee is done, I sit back down, and right on cue, James comes in and straight for the coffee. After I drink, he says,
Bitch.
Patrick just looks at him. Prick. I say to James, as he walks to the back with his coffee. Patrick looks around, and Mom finally answers.
We have tried to decode their talk years ago.
And everyone laughs. Mom, can I have a shower?
Sure, go ahead. We filled up before we left.
Great, I would love a shower. So I walk to the back. I go to the bunk to get my towel, and as I do, James asks,
What are you doing?
Do I have to tell you everything I'm doing? I ask him. Then I notice he isn't looking at my face, so I add, enjoying the view?
Yes, I am.
He says, and I smile. Why not? Fuck with him, because I'm bored. If only there wasn't so many people on the bus, I would ask you to join me. And his eyes pop up to mine.
What?
And he stutters out. You heard me, sir. I say, as I lean down and kiss his neck, then his ear. As I do, his hand goes up my shirt to find my breast. Fuck, I want so much more than just his touch. I let out a soft moan as he massages my breast.
If you are going to fuck with me, I will fuck with you.
He whispers, and I pull back. Fuck you, James.
If only.
He says, and I can see the outline of his dick. OMG. I want to touch him so bad. I wonder what he looks like under his pants. I have never seen a man naked before, so I have no clue. I wonder if James has ever seen a girl. I know he has seen boobs before because he has seen mine. But a girl's sex? I have no clue.
Earth to Roxy. If you don't want that shower, I will take it.
No, my shower, I say, and walk off. Just as I get to the bathroom, I feel arms around me.
What were you thinking of?
I hear his amazing voice. Nothing.
Yes, you were, Roxy. Tell me.
You would think it was stupid.
Try me.
He says, and kisses my neck. Okay, here it goes. I was wondering if you have ever seen a girl naked before? He pulls the collar out on my shirt.
Yes.
He says, still looking down my shirt. That isn't what I meant, and you know it.
Have I ever seen you naked?
He asks. I'm a little stunned. No, I answer.
Then you have your answer.
He says, as his hand moves down to cut my sex. He adds,
You are the only girl I want to see naked.
And then turns and walks off to the front.
James. Sitting on the couch, playing on the computer, I keep thinking of what Roxy said. Does she really think I want another girl? After a few minutes of playing, I see that Roxy just signed on, so I lean up to look in the back to see she is laying on the bed, facing the front, with her computer on the bed. We play for hours, but since there's nothing else to do, no one cares. Even the adults are playing games to pass the time. Me and Roxy are having a race to see who can win the castle first, and I'm about to beat her. I have let her have the last 3. This one is mine. Just as I win, I hear,
James Allen Matthew, you fucking prick!
And everyone stops to look at me. What? I didn't do anything. Please don't start the fighting, son. Again, didn't do anything. God. Just then, Roxy is up at the front.
That was my castle.
No, that was a race, and I won. I gave you the last 3. She sticks her tongue out at me while everyone starts laughing. That was a game? I thought you were doing like school stuff. Patrick says. No, I'm already too far ahead as it is. I answer.
Wait, how far ahead are you?
Roxy asks, but I just shrug. I'm like 4+ months ahead right now, but I know Roxy isn't. Why don't you just finish all your stuff and graduate faster? Patrick asks. As Dad and Jacob look at me, again, I just shrug.
Because Roxy isn't that far ahead, so he won't. Me and his mom both tried to get him to. If he wanted, he could have graduated a year or so ago, but he won't.
Brittany says.
Mom, don't call me that, please.
Roxy grits out, and her mom looks at her. Why not, Roxy? I ask.
Fuck you, James.
Roxy fusses as I laugh. Why do you hate that name so much? Max asks her. She doesn't. She just hates when anyone but James calls her that. Chris laughs. I gave her that name. I can call her that if I want. I tease.
Prick?
Roxy says, so I shrug. Bitch. Wait, is that where that comes from? Quinn asks Brittany.
We have no clue.
She says, and looks at us.
Brittany, 2 days straight on this bus and everyone is getting restless. At the gas station, the kids all but run off the bus and James just runs laps around the place with Max. I go inside to see if they have anything we need. Thankfully, Bill stops at truck stops and not small gas stations. We can all get showers. That is so nice in itself. I pick up a few of the things I know we need.
Mom, I need more shampoo.
Okay, sweetie, they won't have it here. Do you have enough to last until we get to Tennessee, baby?
Yes, ma'am.
After we are ready to get back on the road again, we start a movie. Jacob, James, and Michael have one couch. Chris, Ryder, and Quinn have the other couch. Max and Patrick have the table. Roxanne is on the floor, and I sit on Jacob's lap. James must have fallen asleep. He has his head on the back of the couch with his feet stretched out in front of him, crossed, and his arms crossed behind his head. Roxanne stands up and stretches while I change the movie.
James, trade with me. The floor hurts.
Roxanne whines as I sit back down. James lifts his head and, half asleep, says,
No.
And lays his head back down.
No fighting, Roxanne.
Jacob whispers, and Roxanne just looks at him. After a minute, she says,
Fine.
And sits on James' lap, and his head pops up fast.
James. Roxanne sits on my lap, and I pop my head up and see everyone is looking at her just as confused as me. She is looking at Jacob.
What? You said don't fight, and I'm tired of the floor. My back hurts.
She says, and I start to rub her back. Brittany whispers something in Jacob's ear, and he plays the movie, thankfully. There for a minute, I thought he was going to make her get up. After a few minutes, she lays against me and puts her head on my shoulder. I wrap my arms around her and lay my head back. I guess I went back to sleep because I get woke up by someone trying to move my arms, and then I hear, Fuck, he has a death grip on her, even in his sleep. Let Roxanne go so I can go lay her down. No, mine. I hear laughing, but I still don't move. Fuck, I'm comfortable. I don't want to move. No, mine. I hear. You touch her, you die. I answer. Not even going to say anything because I think he really would.
You can go lay in the bunk with her.
I hear. At that, I open my eyes and pick my girl up, then walk to the bunk. As I lay her down, I hear,
What, y'all want them to go to bed and trust me, asleep or not, you won't win a fight with trying to get her away from him.
She is right on that. When I get Roxy laid down, I go to take my shoes off, when I hear a soft voice.
James?
So I lean down. Go back to sleep, baby. I'm taking my shoes off. When my shoes are off, I lay down, and she cuddles up next to me. One of her hands snakes its way into my shirt, and I smile. Kissing the top of her head, I say, I love you, and go back to sleep. Jacob. Standing here next to Michael, we are watching the kids run around, just glad to be off the bus for a few days. We have 5 concerts in a row here in a week, so we are getting a hotel to get off the bus. Patrick got us a suite with 6 rooms. Michael said he would take the couch so James can have his room, but we both don't think they will wake up in 2 rooms. Michael asked James once why he always fights Roxanne for the bunk instead of sharing, and James flat out said it's because the couch is too small for him to lay with her, so he takes away the temptation. I do love how honest and respectful that kid is. Men, do you really think they will sleep in 2 rooms? Michael asked. Honestly, man, I don't know, and I don't know how I feel about that. Our kids have been close since day one. But now that they are hitting puberty, I don't know how I feel about it. I tell him, and we both go quiet for a while. Me either, man. I wish Lisa was here for me to talk to about all this. She would know what to do, and what to say. That boy needs her more now than ever. As he starts to cry, he does have Brittany, but getting him to understand that is the hard part. He may have Brittany, man, but when it comes to stuff with a girl, her mother isn't the one he would want to ask some questions to. Max says as he walks up. I drop my head because he is right on that. When I look over, I see Michael is playing with his ring. As Brittany comes over, she adds,
Max is right. Roxanne is my daughter, and she barely wants to talk to me about this stuff. There is no way James will.
So what do we do? I ask, not even sure. Leave them alone and let them figure things out on their own like we did? Ryder says, honestly, I think them growing up together makes things more confusing for them. Chris laughs out. How so? I ask, a little confused. Wouldn't that make it a lot easier? I add, and hate how that sounded. Chris is laughing so hard, but he manages to say, they have always had each other, no matter what. They have always been able to count on the other, even when totally pissed off at one another. They both know the other has their back. The one person they never have to be shy to talk to and can say anything, ask any question, even if the other can't answer. Now you add these feelings that they don't understand into the mix, and I think that maybe they are scared of things going south and losing that. Losing their best friend over something they still don't understand. He is her protector. He grew up around 3 girls while you two were on the road. Protecting her when you wasn't around became his life. And I think that if something bad was to happen to Brittany, he would do everything he could to protect her too. He couldn't protect his mom in the end, and I think he is deadly afraid of pushing Roxanne away and not being able to protect her too, or hurting her. Damn, man, is all I say. What, unlike the rest of y'all, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth or in private school. There is a lot you can learn when you don't have the world just handed to you. Just to put it out there, y'all may not have been touring on a bus at 14, but other than that, they are raised with the same pampered life. So maybe y'all should just talk to them. You know, have a talk I don't think y'all ever got.
We have talked with Roxanne about how to be safe and that stuff,
Brittany says. Yes, but have you talked to her about that stuff with the boy that is chasing her? Change that. Caught her and is going to make her dizzy. He laughs, and we all turn to see James has his hands around her stomach, spinning her around. They are both laughing so hard. No, we never did. Up until not long ago, she would insist he didn't have feelings for her that way, and that wouldn't happen, and walk away. Since they didn't seem to even be thinking about that, we didn't. But now I wished we had, I say, rubbing my neck.
Does anyone know if Lisa ever talked to him about this stuff, or if she thought the same thing as us?
Brittany asks, and I have the same question. We all look at Michael. Don't look at me, I don't know. Sadly, Roxanne knows more about my son than I do.
Fuck, man, James knows more about Roxanne than me, and I'm her mother.
Brittany says, and puts her hands on her hips, making us all laugh. If y'all are going to have that talk, make sure it's on the bus and we're on the road, or them two will run for sure. Probably more out of embarrassment than anything. Ryder says, and we all laugh again. We also know what he is saying is so true. James, wow, I'm tired from chasing Roxy, but that was fun after being stuck on that bus. James, Roxanne, come here, Dad yells, and we go over where they are at. So I know James is going on stage, but are you going, Roxanne? Patrick asks.
No, they want James, not me.
Roxy says, and looks a little sad. I'm up there to have fun, Roxy. Please go with me. I say, really hoping I can talk her into this in the next few hours.
No,
She says, and runs to the bus. Do I have to go? I ask my dad, not wanting to go now if Roxy doesn't want to go. James, people paid for the tickets, and your name is on there too, Patrick says, as I drop my head. I want to go, but I want her to go with me, I say, sadly, and I pout as I go back to the bus.